Apple's latest iPhone 16 series launched without its much hyped Apple Intelligence features. And this, alongside some other disappointments, have left some users feeling unsatisfied. Some even posting videos of themselves returning back to their previous iPhones or switching to Android to see if there's any innovation on that side. Hey Earthlings, welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we are unpacking exactly why the iPhone 16 hasn't impressed everyone this year. So if you're excited to dive in, hit that subscribe button, leave a like on the video, and let's get into it. This year, Apple unveiled its latest lineups of iPhone at the usual Apple event, featuring the iPhone 16 and the 16 Pros, both coming with Apple's newest A18 and A18 Pro Bionic chip, which Apple claims were built from the ground up for Apple Intelligence. Take note of that, we'll come back to it later in the video. By the way, Apple Intelligence is Apple's take on AI. Although Tim Cook will rather quit his job than call it AI like the rest of the world. Well, this AI unlocks a slew of new features for the iPhones. Features like the writing tools, the Genmoji, and a smarter and more personalized Siri that can answer complex questions and also handle follow-up questions. Apple said that Apple Intelligence would only be coming to the iPhone 16 and the iPhone 15 series, leaving out the older iPhones as usual, because they lack the processing power to handle it. Though we've seen tutorials on how to enable it on older iPhones and iPads, so these software features do sound interesting, but the upgrades this year are not all about software. Apple has also made some hardware changes like slightly slimmer bezels, better screen, improved camera, longer battery life, and of course the new color choices. Notice how I kept on saying slightly? Well, some of these changes are so slight that users can barely tell the difference. Both the iPhone 16 and the 16 Pro now features the action button and the all-new camera control button. Knowing Apple, this was actually a huge surprise, as they usually reserve the new features for the Pro models to push people a bit more into buying them. But this year, even the base iPhone 16 comes with the all-new camera control button, making it a really compelling buy. Ah yes, the camera control button. This is also one of the bane of many iPhone 16 users' frustration. On paper, it does sound like an intuitive way to take pictures. I mean, Apple even built an entire UI around it. But there's more to this than meets the eyes, and we'll talk about it a bit later. So far, it seems like Apple doing their usual Apple things. So why on earth are people, even hardcore Apple fans, returning their iPhones, you may ask? Well, let's break down the two main reasons that I found. The first and probably the most important reason is the lack of new features to make the phone feel new. Quick disclaimer that Apple has started giving out some of these features to the iPhone, but this is coming weeks after the release of the iPhone. And also, even if you have an iPhone 16, you still have to sign up for a wait list, which still isn't guaranteed that you're going to receive those features until when Apple wants. You see, the thing is, Apple largely marketed these new iPhones around the AI features that were going to be enabled by Apple Intelligence. I mean, imagine ordering a pizza because you saw an advertisement of their amazing new toppings, only for the pizza to arrive and you're greeted with dough and cheese, with a note saying toppings coming later this fall. That's probably how some iPhone users felt when they realized their phone didn't come with the advertised features. You see, people buy the newer iPhones expecting noticeable improvements, but for some time now, the iPhones have felt less and less innovative with each upgrade. And this year's release highlights it even more, with mostly missing or half-baked AI features and some minor tweaks to the hardware like the camera and so on. All of this make the new iPhone 16 feel like a barely upgraded iPhone 15, and these have left many users scratching their heads, wondering if it is even worth the hefty price tag that Apple places on these devices, or if Apple is just selling them some fancy new software features, which has led some to asking for a refund. Also, while researching, I noticed many people in the United States of America don't trade in or sell their older iPhones. They only grab their credit cards and purchase a brand new iPhone while keeping the old one in a drawer or somewhere. I always encourage people to trade in or sell off their older iPhones to people who may need them. This way, less waste gets into the environment, and also you get to keep some money back for the new iPhone. Now let's talk about another cause of frustration that some of you might have with the iPhone 16s. The camera control button. Apple introduced this button as a new and intuitive way to access camera tools on the iPhone 16 series. But it comes with some issues that are even leading some people to go as far as turning it off. First off, the button really isn't usable in portrait mode due to Apple's poor placement. Secondly, the button is pressure sensitive and can even act as a slider, which is really cool. but many users report accidental touches at unwanted times, which makes the intuitive camera control button feel really unrefined. I can actually see Apple thinking this would catch on and become a sort of a trend, just like the shutter button was on the older digital cameras. But unfortunately, it didn't quite catch on, and many people will rather just use their on-screen controls while taking pictures or videos instead. According to reports, even the UI that was shown with the camera control button isn't all that refined, and it might actually take a while before Apple will get it to a place where people will rather use that button instead of just taking pictures the normal way. Other giant smartphone manufacturers like Samsung and Google also made a huge fuss about AI during their presentations this year. The only difference between them and Apple is that they actually delivered the AI features with their devices. And when you look at other smartphone manufacturers, they too have hit a plateau when it comes to innovation on the brick phone category. And now they've started branching into foldables and flip phones. Apple though hasn't given us anything new in any of these new form factors. And when you look outside the Apple ecosystem, you might start to wonder, what exactly am I paying Apple all of this money for? Software updates? I mean, sure, there's still a reason why I'm still using my iPhone 13 Pro till now, apart from the fact that I'm a broke boy. But in my opinion, I believe the iPhone has been super good since the iPhone 13 series. And each year's upgrade just seemed too minimal for me to want to upgrade my device. In fact, many people are returning their iPhone 16s in favor of the older 15s and even the 14s. I saw an article suggesting this is a flex for Apple. No, stop it, it's not a flex. This simply means people aren't seeing any value in purchasing your newer devices. I mean, Samsung and Google have some great older devices, yet people still upgrade year after year. Apple is a $1 trillion company, and I do not believe they should be allowed to release half-baked products like this. I mean, even after Apple Intelligence's release, it still feels very early, like something that needs a little bit more time to develop. And this is not just the premium experience that you usually get when you're interacting with any of Apple's ecosystem. And this also reflects in the decline in sales of the iPhone this year. And there are even rumors circulating that Apple will be dropping out of the yearly releases of smartphones. Which I do kind of think is a good thing, because this gives Apple more time to put more innovation and thought towards a new phone. So should you return your iPhone 16? If you bought the latest iPhone 16 and you're feeling quite underwhelmed, you're definitely not alone. But a lot of the issues with the iPhone can be fixed with software updates, or will be fixed with software updates. Apple Intelligence will get better with time, more of the promised features will get released over time too, and both the sensitivity and the user experience of the camera control button could be enhanced with software updates. Apple has promised to release its AI features, though we don't know if it's all of it, by fall of 2024. And as of today, Apple has rolled out the first set of updates in the iOS 18.1, though users still have to sign up for a waitlist to get the Apple Intelligence with this update. And depending on your region, your wait time could vary from minutes to about 20-25. So if you don't get let in instantly on Apple Intelligence, sorry about that. That's just one of the trade-offs that you get with buying a phone based on promises. So far, Apple Intelligence seems to work well for most people, though I've gotten mixed reviews from many users who have tried it out. So hopefully when Apple rolls out a couple more updates, users might actually be satisfied with the iPhone 16. To wrap it up, I hope everyone learns their lessons about buying phones based on hopes and dreams. Sometimes it doesn't come out the way they market it to you, so just be careful. But it's great to see people receiving updates and actually getting the features that they paid for. And I hope Apple does release an update that fixes the issue with the camera control button. So were you part of those who picked up the iPhone 16? Let me know your experiences in the comment below. Although Tim Cook will rather quit it. Although an hardcore happen. And I believe if more people had done this, shit. Do not forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't. That is all for now. Peace out, Earthlings.